Hello, everybody. Let's talk about how you can make parametrically defined curves in Desmos. The syntax is just like the syntax to make a single point. So in Desmos, if you have parentheses and you say a coordinate, comma, another coordinate, it'll put a single point there. So the only difference is you replace the coordinates with some mathematical expression that you want to use to calculate what that number should be. If you use a lowercase t, it'll automatically create this little range of times, and then it will plot all of the different xy pairs that you get as the t variable starts at -10 and ranges all the way up to +10, or whatever numbers you have here. So let's try it. So just convince yourself that you can create a single point, like 3, 5, and there's the point up there. Let's make it, oh, it's already bold, okay. I'm going to delete that one. So now let's do t squared, lowercase t squared, comma, sine t. And you can see it's given us a little bit of a curve, but now if I adjust the t boundaries to be -10 up to +10, you see it plots a whole big curve. It would be really nice to be able to see what particular point on the curve corresponds to a particular time. So let's do the same thing, only now let's use, you could use any variable you want. So I could say like a squared, comma, sine a, and then you could add a slider for a, and you can see now as I slide a around, it's different points on the curve. I prefer to use capital T to remind me that we're talking about a time. So I'm going to do capital T squared sine capital T. I'll add the slider. So now you can see at time -2, we've got this coordinate right here. And all it did was it substituted -2 into this expression for the x coordinate and this expression for the y coordinate. So I like to look at these both together because the black dot shows me how t moves, and I can actually play it as an animation if I want. And the purple curve shows me all of the different positions of t all as a single curve. So you can either watch the animation by itself to see how your point moves, or you can visualize it together on the graph. Just like last video, I think it's often not a good idea to have your expressions right here inside. So let me show you a different thing that I like to do. I want to create x of t and y of t equations. Unfortunately, in Desmos, using x of t doesn't work the way you'd want it to. You just can't name your function x because x is a special variable. So I like to do underscore. So I'll do x, and then I'll hit the underscore, and then 1. And now I can define that function. But I don't want to display it, so I'm going to hide it. And then here's my y of t function is going to be sine t, and then I'm going to hide it. And so now, let's drag that all the way up here. Now I'm going to display x1t, y1t. And then same thing, -10 to 10. So the only thing I've changed here is instead of typing the expression for the x coordinate directly in here, I just named the function x1. And then I've got the equation here. So what that means is I never have to touch this part again, but I'm free to change my x equation and my y equation however I want because they're just defined as separate equations there. The other nice part is I can use them in both places. So the only difference is I'm going to use the capital T for that one. So now I can see, all right, everything is still there. I can see the animation, I can see the curve. But now if I wanted to do something like add 3 to my y coordinate, you'll see it reflected in both the animation and the curve. So again, you can change your equations very easily without having to mess about in the parametric definitions here. Okay, I hope that this was helpful.